What's up everyone, OJ here and welcome back to another Fire Emblem Three Houses video. Today we've got some new information outlined by Famitsu and translated by Perfectly Nintendo, so shout outs to them. There's a lot of cool stuff on the training grounds, the Garlic Mark Monastery facilities that's new, and also even Amiibo and online features. So let's go ahead and get right into this, starting off with the training grounds. So you want to show off your skills, then head over to the training grounds at the Garlic Mark Monastery. There, monthly weapon competitions are held and students can participate as part of self-study, which does use up one activity unit. Those activity units per day are limited, but there's also some really nice prizes to win. Now, each tournament is centered around a specific weapon and you don't have to worry about the quality of the weapon used. So even if you have one use left on a weapon, you can still use that weapon and it'll be just as effective. So that's good to know. And here's the thing. Only skills matter. Now, unlike regular battles, you cannot give orders or anything. Battles are seemingly done automatically and you can only watch as a spectator. Also, you only get 2 chances to heal in between battles. So it's a little bit of a auto battle type of thing and you have to carefully plan out when you heal in order to be victorious on the training grounds. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next thing here, and that is the Fire Emblem Three Houses Garlic Mark Monastery facilities. Now this is something that I experienced myself when I went to go play the game in Los Angeles at Nintendo's Golden PR headquarters, and it was really cool seeing all the different facilities and seeing how big the area was and walking around. This is something that's completely new to the Fire Emblem series, and in my opinion helps it make to be more like a typical RPG than previous games in the series. So let's go ahead and get into these facilities here. So the Garlic Mark Monastery is a really big place and there's many facilities to be found there. Here are some of the new ones. You have the audience chamber. That's where you get to meet the Archbishop Rhea, which I did get to play and some of you guys have already seen that. There's also an office as an annex. Knights Quarters, a place for the Knights of Setos that students can also enter. You can get some training directly from the Knights. Stable, that's where the horses live. You gotta have your horses. There's nothing special about this facility, but some of the students like to take care of the horses, and so you will sometimes meet them there. Then you have the archives, a giant library located in the monastery. Lots of valuable books can be found there, covering not just the history of the fallen continent, but also the Church of Setos. You can find various students working hard on their studies there. Then you have the dormitory. Each student has their own room. You can actually enter them and check out books about their hobbies, which does net you teaching experience. You do have to wonder if it's alright for you to barge into their rooms and read their stuff though. And that's the one thing that I was thinking about. It's like, wait a minute, they're gonna reward you for going inside there and reading their stuff. That is an invasion of privacy, but it's a video game, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Then you also have your room, the main room on the ground floor of the student dormitory. There's a bulletin board where you can put up quests while taking a stroll, and it looks like sometimes you can hear a mysterious girl's voice, which is the green-haired girl Sodis, which we've heard a bit about, and we still don't necessarily know how she factors into all of this, but I'm guessing based on like the awakening state and the post time skip, I'm thinking that there's something with her and Violet's hair. So let's go ahead and get into this last part here before I kind of talk about some more things that I like about all this information. So we have the Fire Emblem Three Houses Amiibo and online features. This one actually detailed something that I didn't know. I'm excited to try out a bit more. As mentioned previously, you can tap Amiibo figures at special spots called the Amiibo Gazebo, which appear randomly in the monastery while taking a stroll. In order to get various items, tapping an Amiibo from the Fire Emblem series nets you rare items as well as iconic music from their respective game to be used in free battles. I want to talk about this real quick here. I need to now pick up more of the Fire Emblem Amiibo because I need some of that Ike goodness in my Fire Emblem Three Houses. I have Alm Celica, I have Lucina, I have a number of Fire Emblem Amiibo, but I still am missing some of them. So this is going to force me to get some of the other Fire Emblem Amiibo if I can. Now next, we do have something called the Lost Souls. This is cases on the battlefield where other players died in battle. If you manage to survive on those, you will get various items as rewards. And I want to see how that plays out. Does that use up an activity unit? Will you be able to infinitely play these? How much are there going to be? I think this can be a good way to net some extra experience or some items in order to help you further in the game, especially if you're playing on the harder difficulties. And finally, Famitsu did mention the exchange students, which is also part of the online functionality. You can buy items from them at slightly lower prices than regular stores, and we learned that you can also play mini games with them. So you have mini games and items. And remember guys, in order to take advantage of the online functionality like the exchange students, you do have to have the Nintendo Switch Online. So overall, what do I think about all this information here? Because there was a ton. There was actually a lot more that they detailed, but it would take me quite a bit of time to kind of go through everything. So I did want to break up the video just a bit. So overall, I've talked about Fire Emblem Three Houses, how this is a game, if you're a newcomer to the series, looking at all this stuff can be quite intimidating when it comes down to it, but I like to think of it as this is just kind of like a brand new take on Fire Emblem. Having the Monastery, being able to kind of travel around there, that's like a normal RPG. If you look at like the training, the Amiibo, the online and stuff like that, that's stuff that other RPGs have as well, that Nintendo's even done themselves with Amiibo, or other companies have done with passive online features where it gets you like a little bit of a bonus to where you can kind of talk to other players or even use them in your own battles. For example, like Dragon's Dogma, where you can use like the pawn system. So to me, this is great that they're adding in a lot of these other elements that maybe have been kind of repurposed a bit and put into Fire Emblem Three Houses. But the biggest thing for me that I like the most about this game is the fact that there's choice. You have the choices to kind of do so many different things with it. It's not just, okay, I'm going from one battle and story, going from one battle and story. You have the choice to kind of go around, teach your students. You have more of a control in terms of how things are learned. You have more options for classes. They've talked about that as well, where you can pretty much evolve into any different class here through training and studying and using the class portion in order to get ahead. So I like that. And then all the little things like being able to go into each student's room and actually like check out some of their hobbies, which nets you teaching experience, and you're gonna need that teaching experience in order to level up your students more. And I think that this game, out of all different Fire Emblem games, is the most complete package, because you're getting not only what we got previously with other Fire Emblem games and a huge story, but then you're also getting all the different paths, and you're getting all the different open areas and the combat animations, and what they're doing is just absolutely incredible. I personally feel that this could be the greatest Fire Emblem game of all time when it's said and done, which is saying a lot considering that we have stuff like Path of Radiance, we have Awakening, we have just so many great Fire Emblem games in the history of the franchise, but this one seems to go above and beyond any of the other ones that we've seen before. And that makes sense, right? Because it's on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, obviously they've taken a while to make this game. They've been developing it for a number of years now, and the jump is quite considerable when you look at it. Now, for those who are newcomers and they're looking at all this stuff and maybe like, I'm not sure about Fire Emblem, don't worry guys, I've got you guys covered. I recently did a FAQ where I answer a bunch of different questions on the game, so if you're wondering or if you're worried about playing this type of game, I have that video for you guys. Plus I have a number of videos on Fire Emblem Three Houses on the channel if you're new and you want to learn more about the franchise, learn more about the game, because you're hearing people talk about Fire Emblem and how good it is. Remember guys, this game can be played by pretty much anybody. If you like normal RPGs, strategy RPGs aren't too far off from what Fire Emblem Three Houses offers. All it is just positioning a little bit more with your units. But I love the strategy. I love what they're doing with this and what they're adding in. I think that people who do like regular RPGs are going to get more into this one, and the story is brand new. So if you're someone who hasn't played the previous 15 Fire Emblem games, or whatever the case is, you can hop into this one and enjoy the story and understand what's going on. Veterans of the series just kind of have a little bit more of, I would say, advantage when it comes to knowing the different classes, some of them at least, and kind of knowing the flow of combat. But I don't think it takes too long to kind of get into it, understand what's going on, and get into the combat and have a lot of fun. Because I know when I first started playing Fire Emblem, it was weird at first, but then I got the hang of it pretty quickly, especially with Awakening. That's where I kind of like awakened my love for Fire Emblem and everything. So it was great, and I think that this game is going to be the modern day Awakening, you know, for a lot of fans out there, to where it's their first one and it's the one that they really enjoy the most, because I'm seeing so much great content in this game and what they're doing. They didn't just rest on their laurels. This is a lot of great stuff, and a lot of great improvements to the Fire Emblem series. So what do you guys think about all the different features here when it comes to Amiibo, online, the training grounds, and the Garrick Mark Monastery? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.